Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Game Club. Hello, MT Kaysen, Alex. Hello, good morning, everyone. What a bright early morning it is. Meep, just saying quick hello and then lurk since it's midnight. No problem, Meep. Please enjoy. Hello, everyone else who's lurking in the background. It's a bright and early 8 a.m. in Japan. I haven't slept yet. Hello, Jedi. Good morning, or I guess good evening for you. I like the shirt. Thank you. This is a sweater, actually, but yes, thank you. I like this color. Whew. Anyone else not like the morning? I've never been a morning person, so it's this is the rare instance where you're gonna get a webcam morning solo stream from me. Usually, I'll have a bunch of bedhead and still be in my pajamas. Believe it or not, despite the looks of my hair right now, this is not bedhead. But George and I will be recording anime today instead of tomorrow, at least the first half. So, I had to get ready anyway. So I figured, hey, it's a rare webcam stream, so might as well. I love mornings, but I always sleep. Yeah, well, I do like sleeping in the morning. It is a nice little feeling, that's for sure. So, I was setting up the stream just now, and I pushed the Discord button, and while Discord was starting up, I also pushed the Relink button on Steam, and my computer didn't like that. Specifically, I think it's my GPU that's been giving me more and more problems over the years. It's hanging in there, though, so it's that. But we're going to start up Relink here. I didn't start it up yet because I wanted to make sure my computer had some time to breathe. But we're going to start it up, and if I'm still here in the next 30 seconds, we know we're playing Relink, and if it doesn't, then you know my computer crashed. I'm laughing because I'm nervous. All right, let's go. I'm going to hit play here. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, frick. All right. We're good. We're good. We're good. Plug in my controller here. I'm going to set up the sound. Give me just 2 shakes. Yo, excited for 1.1? I am terribly excited. I actually don't know what I'm more excited for. 1.1 or Dragon's Dogma. It's probably Dragon's Dogma, but I am dang excited to play against Lucilius. So... all right, you probably hear that now. Let's there we go. There we go. 212 hours. We passed the 200-hour mark. Yeah, I'm really excited for Lucilius. You know, I saw some interesting discourse recently about the item packs and stuff, and I try to engage with people on Twitter, which is obviously a big mistake, but I didn't really get any people who wanted to, you know, I reached out to some of the big creators who were kind of poo-pooing on it, on the item packs, and I think they got it wrong. I'll be honest, there's a couple of creators who were talking about it. I don't think I will name names right now, at least. But they were just saying, they were poo-pooing about how that whole situation is no good. The item packs are all bad. As if the nuance that as if the nuance situation that you can only purchase them once doesn't change anything. I think that changes everything, quite frankly. I think making it... yeah, the grind is crazy in this game, for sure. It's really not even that bad for one character. If you're doing multiple characters, it gets crazy. But one character, it feels like just the right grind. I honestly have been impressed with how good the grind has felt. So I understand the inclination to think, oh, well, they're just selling us... they made the grind bad so they could sell us back the things that we need. And I understand that. Some companies do that, even. But I don't think that's what's happening here. I think the indication that you can only buy them once, buy the packs once, is a pretty strong indication that they don't want to exploit players like that. So I think poo-pooing on it, yeah, it's not great. I'm not saying it's like the best practice ever that they're selling these item packs. But honestly, it's not that big of a deal. People have been looking for a way to give money, and this is a very non-predatory way to give money to the game if you want a little bit, if you want to build up like that side character or get a little boost ahead of, and it's not even that much, it's like a small boost going forward. So I am vehemently opposed to buying power in games, vehemently opposed to those kind of microtransactions. So I'd be one of the first ones lined up to say that this sucks, but I just don't think it's that. Yeah, it's for new players. Yeah, it's for people to catch up. And it really is that. It's just like, I've seen, the funny thing is I've seen these arguments for different games, like Ubisoft games that do this, right? That they make these incredible grinds and then they sell you double XP and stuff like that. I've seen the arguments, oh, it's for people who don't have time to play. And that's not what these microtransactions are. These are not necessarily for that. It's for new players who want to catch up really quick. And the proof is in the pudding. You can only buy them once. So if it was anything more than once, then yeah, I'd be on board with saying they're bad, and I wouldn't say that they're for new players. I'd just say they're for exploiting players, but it's not that. So, there's my little rant on that. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think any of the packs are bad or going to affect the game in any big way. Yeah. Also, hi. Hello, Mon Bebe. You're here. Mon Bebe here. Hope your day is good. Yeah, my day's been going great so far. I'm glad I was up and ready for the stream by the time. Other than that one crash. They are bad. Yeah, I mean, they're not my favorite thing ever. For sure. Content packs are pretty negligible. I think they may help players who have not reached endgame yet. Yeah, I think they're just a little help, right? The funny thing about the transactions, these packs, is they're actually what companies like Ubisoft say that they're XP and their booster stuff is, right? To help people get that one little push, right? To help people who don't maybe have enough time or who are new or whatever the situation, right? If Ubisoft was putting the proof where their mouth is, they would be making it one-time purchase only to really hit home on that concept. And that's what Cygames did. And I think honestly, I think it's great. I'll be one of the first to call out companies that are being scummy. Think about it this way. This will set the precedent to sell rare stuff and giving it, instead of getting it to new players to catch up as a catch-up mechanic. If they sell well, the company will have incentive to grind longer to sell. So here's why that doesn't apply in this situation. There's two reasons for that. The first, I'll cover the first one. The first one is selling rare stuff. They're not selling anything that's rare. War Elemental, straight up, has a 0.5% chance to drop from a curio if you're playing in Proud. And that's a 0.5 based on the curio's drop rate and the drop rate of War Elemental. Just to keep in mind in case anyone says it's not 0.5, it is 0.5. War Elemental is not rare. I have look at this. Some people are gonna hate this. But the reality is I have, oh, that's right, I just got that 10th one. I have 10 War Elementals. I have not gone out of my way more than an hour, up to 5 hours maybe, of specific grinding for curios. But even then, have I even gone out of my way to grind for curios? I don't know. I don't really think so. But I've got a lot of these. And I understand that you may have bad luck and you don't get a War Elemental, like a ton of them, or you don't get them for a while. But if you just spend a modest amount of time trying to get War Elemental, I'm not saying my luck is normal here, right? I'm not saying everyone's going to have 10 or even 5. But getting 1 isn't really unrealistic for a modest grind. So to say that they're selling rare items, if they were selling sup 5+, I'd be upset. Even just on the fact that you can purchase 1, I'd be upset at least on the half that they're selling rare items. That would be lame. Because War Elemental and sup V non-plus is 50 times more likely than sup V+. 50 times. So you're looking at an item that is much, much, much more common. So I'll be there 100%. If they start selling sup V+, then we're on the same page. You got me on board. But if you're trying to say War Elemental is rare enough that it doesn't justify selling, I can't necessarily agree. And sup V5+, is so much less of a power upgrade. It's 8% with just one. Your first Sup V sigil is an 8% power increase. Now, it's a little bit better on characters that synergize with it really well, like Vayne or Vasaraga, and there's some others. We're going to cover that, actually, in an upcoming video. But, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. So, the other thing is they have an incentive to make the grind longer. Not if they're selling just one. If you can't buy more than one, then they won't. And this is a company that knows how to make long grinds. Grand Blue Fantasy is probably the grindiest gacha game in existence. And as far as I understand, there's only so much you could do about spending money to get ahead on the grind. But even if that's the case, they know how to make a grind that's insane, and they know how to monetize it. But they haven't here. So that tells me everything I need to know about if they're making the grind unreasonable. And I don't even think the grind... I've been playing the game even before we knew the packs existed. I've been impressed on the fact that it seems like there's a decent grind here, but it's not that bad. It's not, like, egregiously. I went through the grind, and I felt like, okay, this was pretty nice. Mobage, by the way. Yeah, so I don't think it's that bad. The grind has been very moderate. As someone who's played Final Fantasy XIV and a bunch of Hoyo games, the grind here is not that bad. So, that's what I have to say about that. For me, because I'm going to get my first War Elemental, as someone who played many MMOs growing up and gacha games, so I still play gacha, these content packs are really minor, and the fact you can only buy one should be enough for people to calm down. 100%. 100%. It belies their mentality, right? It's a one-time purchase now, but we don't know what they'll throw in later, the concept of the slippery slope. I agree with you 100%, Sin. And the second they make it infinite purchase, we'll be on the same page. But the fact that it is one time really does change this a lot. It really changes the dynamic. And I know all they have to do is flip a switch, and then it'll be a totally different situation, and then I'll be on the other side, because that's not okay. But for now... as long as it's one time, I think it's really okay. I'm not too worried about it. Cygames has generally been a good company. I've been playing Cygames stuff since Regalia Lost, and I think they're a pretty good company. They were very, very fair to the people in Regalia Lost. So, the players. You just made me cry. How could you? I also have 6 now, but I got my first after 100 hours. You could finish the whole Witcher 3 all DLCs in 100 hours. Yeah, but this is a fundamentally different game than The Witcher, right? This is a game meant to be played in multiplayer, so that elongates the hours. It's meant to be a bit grindy, you know, I would say a medium grind. So that's another thing, right? So it's not really apples to apples. If you're okay with selling sigils in general, remember my words, we'll see Sup 5 Plus in store. I have no problem with them selling Sup V Plus in store if they give us a easier way to get it first. Right? We have a way, if let's say Lucilius has a 0.5 or a 1% chance to drop Sup V5 Plus, then I would say it's more reasonable after, like in 1.2, if they sell a pack that gives us Sup 5 Plus. Right? So that would be more acceptable. It wouldn't be great. Again, it wouldn't be great. But if it's one time only, and we've already had the chance to get it in a very reasonable way, it's not a big deal. It's alright. It's fine. Not ideal, but it's fine. You only need one if you play online. War Elemental, for sure. Sup 5 Plus, I mean, you could buy a Sup 5. I don't even know how that would work, right? That's the other thing. Maybe they'll never even sell plus versions of sigils because of how it works, right? You're getting like a random roll of the die, you could say. So I don't know. I don't even know if they would do that because of the random nature of it. I've been grinding since evening just now and only got like 1 weapon drop. Dang. The other games have worse grind than this, especially gacha games. Yeah, this game's like light to medium grind. This is Oblivion horse armor talk all over again. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I understand the hesitation. I really do. I understand the hesitation. But we've passed the horse armor in like industry mentality. And Cygames has other games with way worse monetization than this, right? So this was a conscious decision to not do that. And so I can respect them on those grounds. They could have. They have the data in the background to know how to do it very well in a game like this. They could have easily set up a grind and a exploitative, predatory microtransaction set. But they just didn't. And so I gotta say hats off to that. That's cool that they didn't do that. I respect it. They respect me, I respect them. But the second they don't, watch yourself, Cygames. But I'm not too worried. So I understand your concern though, Sin. I think it's reasonable concern. But I look on the side, I look on it a little bit more positively. You're just looking at it a little more cautiously, which is fair. Hardware getting character adjustments. You know how much I screamed? So, yeah. So, the weird thing is, we're going to have a video come out Monday morning, but in North America. It says adjustments in 1.1, and it says character adjustments in 1.2. What is that supposed to mean? Does that mean in 1.1 we're getting, like, quality of life adjustments? And no character adjustments? So that just, I can't imagine we don't get character adjustments. Especially because they don't want people to trivialize Lucilius. So they got to patch up some of those weird glitches that make people do insane amount of damage. But, I don't know. You never know, I guess. We'll see. It might just be poor wording. There are some odd translations. As we went back to look at the English they used in the Relink slides, there is definitely some weird translations. So it could just be that they use inconsistent wording unintentionally. Yeah, even in the gacha version, they avoid allowing people to buy something that skips the grind for the best items. Yep, Cygames is a good company. I trust Cygames much more than I do a company like Hoyo, and I don't think Hoyo is that bad. Hoyo's also, I think, a pretty reasonable company. Not as reasonable as Cygames, but I think pretty reasonable. The one game I'd like to buy skins for during the update, then, library, no skins coming out. Literally, no skins coming out. There are so many nice skins in the gacha. Yeah. I'd love to buy games or buy skins in this game, especially if it's for CAG. Alright, I've got a session up. If anyone would like to join, we're just going to chill and play some Grand Blue Fantasy. There's the thing, first come, first serve. We'll place a handful of rounds with people, and then if other people want to jump in, we'll have people jump in. By the way, do you know that Cygames was the first company to introduce pity? So I'll give you that. They do have a small amount of benefit of the doubt. I didn't know that. I'll be honest. I didn't know that. Well, it would have been a great point for me to bring up. I guess I will in the future now. Thank you, Sin. But I didn't know that. And honestly, I'm not surprised. I felt very taken care of in Dragalia Lost. As someone who spent way too much money on Fire Emblem Heroes, and that was my first gacha, I felt much more respected in Dragalia Lost than I did in that, and I didn't spend nearly as much money, like a fraction of the money I spent. So, you should pin the session ID on top of the chat. The problem is, the session ID can change so frequently, and there's no way to copy and paste it really easily. Fire Emblem Heroes is pain. Oh my gosh, I get you, man. Yeah, Fire Emblem Heroes was a lesson learned. Let's just say that. They got into a lawsuit about rates, so sure their players, they came up with a pity system. That's, oh, you know what, Jedi? This sounds so familiar now. Right, they had one person who... Monkeygate. Yes, yes, that's right. It wasn't that they were exploiting rates, though, is that the rates were so bad. I remember this now, actually. That's right. But to be fair, the concept wasn't like, it wasn't a thing, right? So they were like, okay, we'll come up with a system. Because they thought like, well, this is the way that it's done, right? And then when they realized, okay, this system is really not great. We got to come up with a better way. And then they bring in the pity system. This is also the company that brought in that brought in when they first started Regalia Lost, they had the cards that you can equip. They're kind of like pieces of armor, essentially, that you could equip to your characters. They were in the gacha, and people were so upset about it, they relented, and they revamped the gacha, and they took out the cards. That was a pretty ballsy move. Like, a lot of companies... I mean, if this was Square Enix would not have done that. They would have said, suck it up, Buttercup, give us more money. But Cygames said, you know what? All right, fair enough. Is a good single character starter pack. You could also say the packs are just the push over the hill to get those last few weapons sigils max for Lucilia's prep, I have a feeling. That's how I felt as well. When I very first saw them, I was like, oh, I hate this. I think this is really lame, and I'm very disappointed. And then I saw the fine print of only purchasing once, and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of okay. To get many players experience the raid. Yeah, if people are getting in, and they get a small little boost right at the end. Other than that, you know, I think it's totally fine. Thoughts on Yoda? I haven't played Yoda much, but I have played him a bit, and he's really fun. I really like his gameplay of, like, speeding up, essentially. He gets faster and faster through his combo until he's basically just doing his finisher the whole time. That's a sick gameplay loop. And his like, shadow jutsu, basically, where you just basically... get like shadow clones that take damage for you, and they apply to the whole team. That's absolutely cracked. That is incredible ability. So Yoda is cool. I like him way more. We did a video where we just, based on a picture alone, we made a tier list. Poor Yoda. He got like that the very, very bottom, just based on his look. But I like his voice actor a lot, and I like the way he plays quite a bit. So, how cool would it have been to get a small event to farm more curios like Monster Hunter does? Instead, we got packs. You're right. You're not wrong. But do we know that even if we wouldn't have gotten the packs, that we would have gotten those event stages? Maybe we got the packs because they didn't have, like, they didn't plan on doing event stages because they didn't know how well the game would do. Maybe if they knew how well the game would do, they would have prepped more like event stages. It doesn't seem like we're getting any event stages at all. Right? If we don't get any event stages at all, that's going to be a big indication as to why we didn't get that, is because they just weren't planning on it. Right? They were planning on the scant content offering they were you know, going to give us, and then that was that. But then the game blows up pretty decently, and then they're like, "Oh, frick. Maybe we should do a little more." He's super fun, not the highest DPS, but when played right, hard to kill. Very hard to kill, yeah. Yeah, he's like constantly invincible half the time. Hello, Scorps. Yeah, he's cool. Yoda is cool. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they do. If they start doing events to farm specific stuff, then, you know, it is what it is. But even if they did an event quest in like 1.2 that allows people to get War Elemental even easier, or Sup 5+, right? Wouldn't that kind of disincentivize people from buying those packs altogether, even if they're like new players? They'd be like, "Oh no, just go do the event stage." Don't you think that would be kind of reasonable, that they're undercutting their own kind of things? And the other thing is, the one thing I didn't even mention is the price of the pack is like really cheap. It's $3. I think it's pretty good. Like, normally you see like gacha games, especially a 10 pull in gacha games is like $30. 10 times more expensive. That's crazy. And so like this one thing that's like a minor thing overall, and it's difficult to get, is $3. If it was $10, I could understand some outrage there. But $3 is very reasonable, and they're selling an emote pack with 3 emotes that go across all the characters. They had to create emotes for all of the characters, right? This is 3 emotes times 3 times 19. I'm not even gonna do the math because I don't even know. That would be what, 57? Yeah, I think that's 57. That's crazy. That's a lot of work for $2. $2. I think their microtransactions have been super respectful. I've been impressed. From a gacha company, especially, I've been impressed. I'm done with the salt. No worries, Sin. I mean, you're just being cautious. I think your concern is totally reasonable. So I don't think it's salty at all. I think you're just holding a position of caution. So, fine. Sandophon, Pog? Yeah. I'm really curious. I'm really glad that we get to see him in the Lucilius raid, so we can see what he's kind of going to play like, at least a little bit. But honestly, I'm really excited for Tuyen. I saw how freaking cute she was in game, and I mean, she's real pretty, and her gameplay looks super fun. Oh, I wanted to show this. Let me pull something up here. Oh, you know what? I downloaded it, so I can actually pull up a local copy. Hang on. Sorry, I might have been a little loud. Okay, I'm gonna... Hang on. I think there's an easy way to bring this in. Let me just pull it from my anime. Anime watching. Where is the anime? There it is. Grab that. Turn off studio mode. Work it in here. This is gonna be a little jank. Give me a sec. Oh, you know what? This worked out pretty good, actually. Full screen canvas. Gonna zoom in, make sure we're not... Okay, there we go. I'm gonna put that below here. Alright, this is a local copy. I've downloaded a section of the stream for editing purposes. Cool. Okay, so check this out. I didn't notice this. Look at her feet. And that's not what I mean. Look at her feet here. She is hovering with these, like, circular rings. I totally didn't notice the first time, but it's the coolest freaking thing ever. I don't know what it is, but having these little rings below her feet that allows her to, like, float like this is so freaking sick. Maybe it's just me, but it's really, everyone's really focused on the feet. It's really cool. I'm really into it. Her feet. I mean, the rings. So, I mean, if I was not already excited for her, I'm very excited. So. That's rare flight magic. Okay. Tuyen never defeated. Oh, jeez. Thoughts on the new character gameplay they showed? I'm so hyped. I'm so traumatized from having gacha characters. Getting these for free made my mind explode. Yeah, I mean, hey, if this company was looking to be predatory, why the heck are they giving us a way to buy characters, or to get characters for free that you can buy? Guys, there's so many things that indicate that Cygames is not trying to frick anyone over. Okay? There's so many things. They're not trying to frick with anyone. Like, let's not have a knee-jerk reaction, right? Like, they're giving these characters away for free. And if I wonder how much they'll cost. I wonder if they'll go the Smash Bros route and have, like, characters that are actually reasonably priced. So they could have, like, a free option and a reasonably priced buy option. But yes, the characters look absolutely sick. Sandophon isn't exactly what I thought he would be, but I still am interested in trying him out. It doesn't seem like he plays like Catalina. He has like a skill that looks like this looks like a skill, right? I hope. It's a pretty wild skill, to be fair. This skill looks insane. I cannot wait to see what this is all about. This is like SBA the skill. And then he has an actual SBA. So that's awesome. Let me mute the game here real quick. There we go. And then obviously she looks wonderful. I'm going to be very excited to try a ranged character. Her skills look awesome. I like the kind of galaxy theme that they're going on. From what I understand, these two are Eternals, if that's not incorrect. He has a wild haircut to go with the wild skills. True, I really love his hair. I'm going to try Seofon. He'll be my new main, Scorps and Case and say. Agree, Scorps. I like that he was love at first sight for me. Be my new main. Nice. People loving Seofon. Nice. Sanafon versus Lucilius in games is going to be cool. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. They hinted discussion with Sanafon before the raid, if I correctly, so it might be a small story. Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, they showed right here. Yeah, so you'll have a little quest and stuff. There'll be a little bit of story to it too. I'm super high for Tuyen. Debuff Archer, sign me up. Yeah, right? Kalen? Absolutely. Only Tuyen and Matera have mastered flight magic without needing any wings or such. Really? Just 2 characters? That's so cool. It's so sick. Seofon gives solo leveling vibes. Sung Juo energy. We don't know how we'll unlock them, do we? No, we don't yet. But we'll have to see. It could be bad. It could be awful. But I doubt it. I don't think there's any reason to think that. What about the ability where he summons 7 avatars or something? If they mirror the gacha, it's basically an instant SBA for the entire team? This one? If that's the case, if this gives instant SBA for the whole team, you could SBA, use this, go into another SBA, like a full burst. You could do full bursts back to back. That seems ridiculous. And then what's the cooldown on this thing? And then that means cooldown reduction on this skill in particular is going to be nuts. So you'd want to do quick cooldown cascade. That would be insane. 4-man Seofon SBA spam? I didn't even think about that. That sounds amazing. What the heck? There's no way, right? That can't be. Is English trailer a chef's kiss? Wouldn't know. You don't have to wait before it unlocks. Welcome back, Scorps. Did we ever find out what the release time is? No, I think we're waiting for them to make a tweet about that. I think we'll get that in a couple days. I don't know if I wanted skins so bad in the game, but bro, please. Yeah, man, I just want to throw money at them. Frickin' give some cute outfits to CAG. Let's go. I'm tweeting at this point, basically. Animations are cool, one of my favorites. Sandafon is released, I'm swapping. Scorps, you had to pick Sandafon and Roland. What you doing, huh? Where you at? Wait, what if there are 2 of them? 2 of who? 2 of, oh yeah, 2 Sandafons, yeah, or Seofin. Yeah, Seofon. Yeah. 4 Seofon team, yeah. There's no way they make it instant SBA for the entire team. What if it was like an SBA buff, and they made it so that the SBA did twice as much damage? Which should be crazy, but at least it's not like interrupting the boss 2 times, or like going turn into turn, like SBA, 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 SBA. It's also a SBA buff? Okay, well, hey, there you go. I freaking called it there. I don't think they'll give SBA, though, just because of the way SBA works, it seems like it's busted. Graham, you're not doing anything? You want to play Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising? Do you guys want to see me and Scorps fight it out in Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising? I'll do that, but I don't want to disappoint people who are looking forward to Relink gameplay. Yes? Oh, boy. Last time, I used to whoop Scorps' butt in that game, and then I took a long break, and we're, like, even now. Relink gameplay's been the same for a while. True. It's just Pyatt and Proto Baja. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I watch Tekken every day, so this could be fun to watch. Grand Blue fighting game. Okay, all right. And if everyone opposes that, because this has generally been Relink so far, if anyone opposes that, I'm fine to switch over. But it is Grand Blue, and I'm still playing Keg, so it's pretty close. It's not. It's a fun game, to say the least. They might hit limitations on it, even if the gacha ability. Yeah, I can't imagine, just because of the way the SBA functions, I can't imagine it gives you one. But SBA buff, I can see. Wonder how many weapons the new characters will have. That's a great question, Neptune. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would be interested to see how many things they have, because they don't really need like progressional weapons. But I'd imagine that they would. Yeah, I don't know. I'd imagine they would have all of the weapons just because of how the mastery stuff is balanced. But they could just build those stats right into their base stats, right? Just not have any other weapons, but like Terminus and Ascension, maybe. I could see that. Okay, is the sound coming through? Yes.
Grand Blue Fantasy
I only care about
versus
Relink, but feel free to do whatever you like. Well, thank you, Breaku. Break. Alright, we're gonna go fight Scorps. Hopefully not lose embarrassingly on stream. Actually, that reminds me. I had to do my, 20 dash attacks, brave counter, and 10 grand bruise stages. We ain't doing that, that's for sure. Alright, Japan. We're gonna go lobby 2, even though it crashes like all the time. Okay, ooh, I tried to dash just now. Wait, how do you run in this? Is there running in this? I can't remember. I tried to run just now like how you do in a Relink, and it did not work. So I got Keg here. I've got a little AI assistant UL as well, which is great. My first introduction to Grand Blue as a whole was the fighting game, because I saw something on Belial and I wanted to get the game for him, but never did. Now I'm playing Relink. Well, you know, you could still correct your decisions. My biggest sag is frickin' that this game didn't get more attention. It got a lot of attention at the outset, but a lot of people have dropped off it, which is so sad. This game is my favorite fighting game, and I don't really play any fighting games at all. So, I don't really get into fighting games in general. I guess we got to, hang on, we got to change the game that we're playing here on YouTube and Twitch. Are there any moddies around to change that on the Twitch side? Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. And we'll do the same thing on the Twitch side. Grand Blue versus Rising. Okay, there we go. The only fighting game I got into was Tekken, but I love watching many others. Yeah, right? I really got into Smash. I wasn't good enough to be pro or anything, but I did pretty good for myself. Pretty good. George and I really got into Smash in college. We had a Smash Bros. Club where we would invite people to our house and we would train them to how to play competitive Smash. And we also ran tournaments and did commentary on the tournaments. It was amazing. We had a tournament so big one time, they actually had to shut it down because it just got too big. And that's a true story. Alright, so hopefully we can keep it together here. That's not safe on block. Just a straight up, I'm not. Oh, apparently Scorps ain't good either, but I'm not good at fighting games. Are we blocking? No, we're Cannot block. Let's wake up super. Should have seen that coming. I'm not great at fighting games. Straight up. I also don't know any combos other than one. This is a great first round, Scorps. I appreciate these sandbags so you can make me look good. That's cool. It's way cool.
Battle 2. Engage.
I heard it's underrated. This game is heavily underrated. And it did really well. Nice. Anyone who knows this game is going to see my gameplay and just know that I'm absolutely just awful. Ooh, nice. Dang it. This is the only combo I know. You do that, I drop it. Oh, I hit combo limit. Oh, because of the trap. You do this, and then... Oh, I failed it. Dang, Scorps. What's that? What's that, Scorps? Come on now. You gotta put up more of a fight than that. 9 War Elemental, 8 sub, 5, and still no sub, 5 plus. I mean, I made a tweet about it just a little bit ago, but War Elemental and sub 5 are more than 50 times more likely than sub 5 plus. More than 50 times. Get over there, boy. Don't touch that. Frick. I'll be cheeky. Nice. Nice. You in trouble now, boy? Oh, you in trouble now, boy? Sit down. My bad, gang. Come on, Scorps.
Battle 2.
Come on, what you got for me? Frick. Yeah, I tried to do something and I failed miserably. Nice, that was stupid of me. Shouldn't have pushed a button. I shouldn't have pushed a button there too. Don't learn from my mistakes. Woo, let's go. We're gonna get combo blocked here. Yep. Woo, that was a mistake. Trying to do the combo still, even though I was out. Nope. Oh. Come here, friend. Oh, no, no, don't come here that hard. Wake up, super. Kind of wake up, super. All right. I mean, that's fair. Yeah, all right. That's cool. Uh-oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, the low. I should have seen that coming. Dang, I'm surprised I can get you with that. Ooh, that's bad. That's bad for you. There's the combo limit. Oh, nice. That was sick. Smart. What a ballsy move you got going on there. Back the frick up. Oh, don't do that, friend. Don't do that, friend. Dang, combo limit. Ooh, I don't think so. Taking you for a ride, buddo. Taking you for a ride, friend. Nice. Thanks, Scorps. I'll send you 20 bucks later, okay? Appreciate it. I got about 200 hours in Relink, but my first sub 5 and War Elemental only net me 3 War Elemental and not 2 non-plus subs. Yeah, well, I mean that's just gonna be how it is. No one's gonna get frickin' you're gonna get 54 War Elementals or sub 5s before you even have a chance of getting a sub 5 plus. Like the same chance that you would have gotten just one of those. 50. It's insane. Sub 5 plus is nuts. Whoa, that was weird. That was a weird clash. Getting a little aggressive there, huh? Huh? Getting a little aggressive, huh, boy? Put you in your place. Put you in your place, boy. Get back in the corner there. Oh. Oh, he's getting unruly. Oh, you think? You frickin' thought. You frickin' thought you had something there, huh? Oh, no! I know what you want. I know what you want. You ain't gonna get it. I know what you want, Scorps. I see you. How often do you see damage cap with a with potion hoarder? True. I've been trying to get that one. Yeah, so I did for the Lucilius sigil guide video. We did I did hours of looking for a Tyranny and Aegis sigil. Like literally, I spent like fucking 6 to 8 hours one day trying to get that sigil just for the videos, just so I can more easily show it off. And I actually started to notice that there are certain combinations of sigils that are more common than others. Let's go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Scorps. You walked on it, baby! That's what you get. Imagine having War Elemental 140 hours in. Dang, I'm not gaming. Come on, you gotta lean forward, brother. You know how it works. Yeah, War Elemental. I mean, some people are just gonna get unlucky, man. That's what they get the $3 pack for. Frick! That's not safe on block. Shouldn't have done that. I thought if I waited, I'd catch you. Oh, I'm sandbagging now. Straight up. Do it. You love to see it. Woo! Oh, there's a trap there, friend. You can't do that. Okay. Alright. Do it. Do it. Overhead! I'm stupid. I was waiting for the jump, and then even when you jumped, I fricked it up. Very cool. I'm farming Curious Other Monitor because if I get War Elemental before I have to buy it. Thanks for entertaining me while I do that. No problem. Happy to help. No! Frick. Frick out of here with that. Oh, I can't believe I didn't get you with that. That's not gonna work, friend. You gotta try something else. Yeah. Woo. Oh, I don't think so. Ooh, you had a chance. You had a chance. Oh, I didn't block? Are you kidding me? Oh, we're gonna block that, right? Kag, no! Don't do it. Frick. Think that's how long it took me to get my first War Elemental. Yeah, some people just have bad luck. I have damage cap with Potion Hoarder, but I want Tyranny and Aegis so bad. I have a damage cap with Potion Hoarder. I think it's the only one I have, though. Tyranny and Aegis, super freaking rare. Stamina and crit rate stamina, extremely common. So that aged like freaking fine wine in our video. It's so common for that one. I got 2 from Trans Marvel that are Tyranny and Aegis. Do you see that parry? I parried his grab and I was looking at chat the whole time. And I'm notoriously bad at grabs in general. One of these days I'm gonna punish that boyo. Not that though. Nope. Oh! I pushed the wrong input. No, I did it again! You stupid dumb idiot! You deserve this loss! So stupid. Still waiting on that crit rate 10 times 2 damage cap stone. You know what? I see people talking about that stone. I think that stone's overrated. I'm just gonna say it. It's a good stone. Not to, you know, not to frickin' say it's not a good stone. It's a good stone. Let's go. Don't worry, I saved you from that trap, bro. Oh, sorry. I knocked you into it. Oh, dang it. The freaking combo limit. Let's go. Nope. I see you. I see you running up with that low. Oh, that's going to be bad for you, friend. Woo! Careful. Don't step on that. It's dangerous. You knew I was coming in for it. Get out of here, you sly dog. Yeah, so I think a crit rate stone with auto revive and guts would be better because you could remove 2 sigils instead of just 1 damage cap. Now, the damage cap one would be amazing for sure, but I think having auto revive, I don't know why I dropped that. I think auto revive would be better. Ooh, you weren't expecting that. I don't do that very often. You just grab me in the middle of my freaking auto combo? Oh. Oh, nice cross up. Get out of here. Very strange execution there. Scorps, very cool. What do you think? What do you think we'll get more characters in Relink, not including the announcements? That's a great question, Igor. I think we're gonna anticipate. We should anticipate seeing more stuff in the part 3. Not necessarily characters, but there. That's. I think we're gonna get another roadmap with at least like 1.4, 5, and 6. That's what I'm hoping from the Relink part. Part 3, because we're gonna say this in an upcoming video, but I'm just dropping the whole video on stream in little bits apparently. But why do we need a part 3 showcase stream if we're not getting more content than 1.3? Right? I think Cygames loves their characters and people love playing new characters, so I think we'll absolutely be getting more characters. I think having a character, a patch, or a character, an update, plus a new mission per update. I don't know if that's feasible. That's like a lot of work. But having one of these, like both of these per update would be awesome. I don't know how feasible that is based on their current work budget, but we'll see. Oh, thought for sure you would jump. Get out of here with that. Go ahead. Do it. Do it. Do something. That almost worked. That almost worked. I was not ready for that. I was too focused on saying freaking taunts to not do anything. Oh, that's freaking funny. Oh no! That's funny. I'd love to get a paid expansion. Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it? That would be wonderful. Here's a question for everyone. Would you rather get an expansion that has the same amount of content that the base game had? Or would you rather get a Relink 2, but it's a live service game and they're all ready to go with like content on an outgoing basis? I know my feelings on live service games, so I'm super hesitant with that whole idea. Nice DP. But gosh dang if I wouldn't play the heck out of a gacha game that had gameplay like this. Alright, had gameplay like Relink, right? dude, that works? You could do that? Ouch. No! No, Scorps! Oh, go easy on me, bro! Yeah! I don't want to die! No, I pushed the wrong button. I'm stupid. Ah, frick. Nice, Scorps. That's good. Oh, that was scary? Yeah, that was pretty good. Dude, your ability to type in between rounds into the chat is amazing. That's funny. Oh, dude, how did I not? Nice. Oh! That was a mistake. Maybe expansions. Depends on would the expansion have high difficulties. Yeah, let's say the expansion skews, like, it's got the same amount of content, but it skews just generally higher difficulty content in general. Dang, you can punish that dude. Wow, that's scary. I don't like that. I'm sorry, I just had to push the I win button. Don't mind me. Nah, screw the gacha, bring the paid expansions. Okay. Relink 2 probably, because I want the game to last longer, but no gacha, please. Okay, so you'd like a live service, but without the gacha? But what if a gacha was the only way for them to finance a game like that? And the gacha is basically like a Hoyo gacha, right? It's not too bad. It's pretty reasonable. I don't know how you do that, Scorps. You're like grabbing me through that. It's wild. Nice. That was a good little interaction we had there in the corner. I enjoyed that. You probably didn't enjoy it as much as me. Nice cross-up attempt. Very cool. Ouch. Double ouch. I don't think I pushed a button, did I? I did. Hoyo's gacha's garbage? Ooh, hard disagree. Hello, Sason. Hard disagree. I think Hoyo's gacha is great. I love Hoyo's gacha. I think it's very reasonable. Nice. Nice. Ooh, baby. Oh, ha ha. Interesting. You're only gonna be able to do that so much. Oh, you thought I was pushing a button, did you? You thought I was pushing a button, did you? No! I knew you were going for the grab. I still didn't block it. Yeah? Yeah? You got no way to... Oh, you... Wait, how did you get that diamond back? Frick. Are you playing Scare right now? Oh, frick! Oh, frick! Oh, frick! That sucks, Scorps. That frickin' sucks, dude. Oh, here we go. Let's go. I'm gonna take you for a ride. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Scorps. You're getting combo for days. Ooh, you see that? I don't have any diamonds, friend. Nope. It was a good attempt. It was a good attempt. All right, let me look at chat here for a little bit. No. How is Hoyo's gacha reasonable? Hell no, no me Hoyo. Man, people got strong feelings about the Hoyo gacha. This is factually not true. Being the only way to monetize such a game, I mean. Oh, for sure, it's not the only way. But if you want to finance, if you want like the best way to finance a game that's a live service, I mean, I don't know a better way than that. Maybe subscriptions, but even then. Hoyo gacha is an illusion. It's not a good one. Dang, you guys really think so, eh? Just sell cute waifu skins? I mean, for sure. That's definitely a good way. Max, what I would tolerate in live service are battle pass and cosmetics. You guys don't like frickin' Hoyo stuff, eh? Let me frickin' show you, because I don't want to pull up 2 games. And I think I'd have to start my OBS and admin, and I didn't do that. So I can't bring up my Hoyo stuff on PC. But I really think that the Hoyo gacha is really generous. Right? Like, because based on how frequently they release characters, one. So it's, I've written about this in the past. Because I've always thought Hoyo's gacha has been really good. So there's several vectors that you have to think about when you're evaluating how good a gacha is. You have to evaluate how much it costs, how much currency it costs to do a 10 pull. You have to evaluate what the rate is. You have to evaluate, so number 3 is, you have to evaluate what the pity is, how the pity system works. Then you have to evaluate how frequently characters release, new characters. And then you have to evaluate how much currency income they have. So I think all of those factors considered, Hoyo does a fantastic job. Honkai Star Rail's doing it in a good way, but Genshin, no. I play both since launch. I played both since launch. I dropped Genshin, but I'm still playing... Honkai Star Rail. So here's my characters. I haven't bought any of the paid packs, so this is very disorienting. It's reversed. So I have all of these characters. Black Swan, Sparkle. The only characters I don't have are the characters I just didn't want. If you want to focus on that there, camera, no problem, or not. So I have like every character I've wanted, and I have gotten lucky, yes. So I don't expect everyone to be in that same situation, but I mean, if you're saving the only... So I'll go to the store here just so you can see. I'm not freaking fibbing you here. I haven't bought any of these packs. Right, I got the bonus up top. It'd be really cool if you focused on the phone camera. That could be really cool. There we go. Oh, yep. So you can see the bonus is all there, right? And I've got 3,000 of the paid currency because the only thing I buy is the little pass thing. And I don't even buy it every time. I just buy it, you know... frequently, I would say, but not every time. So, I mean, I don't expect everyone to have the same luck that I do. But I think if you're saving and you're not buying any of the light cones in the gacha, right? Not buying or not doing the light cone gacha, and you save properly and you just like target characters that you know you're going to want, you can absolutely get the characters you want. That's the best thing about it, is it's not predatory. Right? Like, you get a lot of currency. You can spend a little bit of money on the battle pass. Yeah, I don't do the battle pass very often. I said most of them I have not gotten them. I do them monthly though, because it's very cheap, and it's incredibly it's I think 10 times more cost efficient than buying the packs is to do the monthly. So I think it's honestly pretty good. They allow you to target the characters that you want, and you can guarantee them. I mean, it's a pseudo buying it from the shop situation, except you can use free currency. I think Relink shouldn't be a gacha. It's as shrimple as that. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. L take. Sin, no, don't let me hold this L. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. Wait, but Sin, explain to me why you think being able to target the character that you want very easily in Hoyo games is an L take. Right? Like, if you have a character that comes out and you've been saving your currency, not even that long, you don't have to save that long, you can guarantee characters that you want. You just go and get them. Right? Even if you have the worst luck and you go to 80 pity every time, you're still going to guarantee the character you want. That's not really even gacha. That's just like a shop that has a chance of giving you a cheaper character at that point. I'm exaggerating it out for anyone who doesn't understand what I'm doing there. Obviously it is still a gacha, but I'm exaggerating it to the point that, like, I think there's fairness at the ends of this gacha system, right? Obviously it's not really a shop that you know, it's not to that extent. Back to my answer, I literally answered that. Okay, sorry, give me a second, let me look. If one gacha has it worse, doesn't mean that the other ones are good. They're different flavors of the same garbage. Yeah, I mean, I just disagree. There's a hot take that we got conditioned to these games by their love of anime waifus. There's no such thing as good gacha, period. See, I just disagree. I think, I'm not trying to compare it to other gacha systems. I genuinely think, based on the amount of currency they give and the pity, how the pity system works, and the rate of characters they release, I think it's not unreasonable to get most of the characters that you want. You can just, like, guarantee them just straight up. I think it's great. I think it's really good. And, I mean, again, I'm not someone who's going to bend over backwards for corporations, but I think it's a pretty reasonable gacha system. Yeah, I mean, Helldivers 2 is live service done right. Wasn't there some stuff? I mean, you're probably right, but isn't there some stuff about the Helldivers 2 where you can potentially at least buy abilities and power and stuff? Isn't that, like, essentially pay to win? So I don't know. I just don't think it's that bad. Like, and I'm not saying this in relativity to other gacha games. I just done something like a block. I just don't think it's that bad, like, honestly. If you're playing the game regularly and you're saving up, within like a month or two, you can guarantee a character. At least in Honkai Star Rail. I don't know how Genshin has been the last couple of years, but in Honkai Star Rail, it's no problem. You can absolutely do that. So I think that's a pretty fair system. If you didn't want to spend any money and you had like a character every once in a while that you wanted to guarantee, not even like a chance, guarantee that you're going to get that character. You just get them because you decide that's the character that you want, and I'm dead. All right. You can do that. I think that's pretty great.
Player 2.
No matter how good the chocolate is, some people just don't like chocolate. You feel me?
Battle 2.
I think people have reasonable positions on it. Ooh, yeah. Oh no. Not. Nice. I know I didn't need that. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, we're going right over that. Let's go. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Come on, Scorps. How about getting all the characters you want without their kits being stripped by cons or eidolons? You're drinking Kool-Aid there, my friend. I don't think that's the case. I don't think they do that. I've heard people in the community say stuff like that, and I've looked at the characters myself, and I don't think that's the case. I don't think they do that. I just disagree with that narrative. I think that's... I'm not saying you're being disingenuous, but I think the community is being disingenuous. I think if you look at the characters and use them, as someone who doesn't get Eidolons, let's say in comparison, I don't get any Eidolons at all, but MT Kaysen gets them all. Now, I think we both have fun with our characters, and they work totally as advertised. Right? Like, my Kafka works with dots, just, you know, not as OP as other characters. Or as she could have been, not as other characters, but as she could have been with Eidolons, for sure. But she works exactly as she's intended to work. Just like that. Where's the game? I'm stupid. I'm literally stupid. Shoot, I forgot to change the scene. Sorry, boys. Apologies. Yeah, I just don't think that characters are stripped down. I think they're designed in a way that they work functionally just fine. Oh. I think they work just fine without Eidolons, and then they have, like, things that make them absolutely busted. Free combo? Let's go. There are issues with weapons or light code banner, though which I really dislike, but their rates are very reasonable, but Genshin's really stingy. That's see, that's an argument. I can if it's like I'm judging all of this based off of the Star Rail right? Genshin might be more stingy, and then my opinion will change. But right now, Star Rail is really freaking generous. It's not safe on wall. How many times? Right? Star Rail's really generous, and you can very reasonably get all the characters. Well, not all the characters. Again, it's not all the characters, but you can get a lot of characters. Remember, this is a game that you can play for free, right? They have to supplement development costs somehow. Nice. And I think this is a pretty reasonable way to do it. There's no reason, like, unless you want freaking all the characters in the game, there's no reason you can't guarantee, like, characters that you really want in that game. There's no reason that you're gonna have to spend any money. Frick me. Frick. Guess what? I win. I have to look at chat here. Best gacha was summoning wise was PGR. So how does PGR differ from Genshin, and why did you like it more? My point against Genshin is that since I played since release, is that they monetize everything they can. Normal characters gacha, a weapon gacha. They sell skins, they sell battle passes, they sell new moon blessings and wings. For sure. But the great thing about that is, agreed that like over monetization is annoying. Okay, we could both agree on that. The great thing about breaking it down like that is you can choose. A lot of these things are totally optional. And you can choose what you want to engage in, right? So if you believe that one monetization set, like for me, I don't really like the battle pass. I don't really engage in the battle pass. So I just don't generally buy the battle passes. And so I just buy the things that are most efficient, which is the monthly pass. And then that's pretty much it. I don't want to spend on anything else. So, and they do need to fund the game somehow. So it's like, how do we go about doing that? And I think this is, for people who are really thinking and really planning, you don't have to spend very much money at all. Oh, don't forget the stamina system can be circumvented by money. Oh, up to a degree. That's not a good argument because you cap out very quickly. You can circumvent it a little bit, but like overall, no. You cap out, what is it, after 6 times a day? You can only do it 6 times a day. So it does help you get ahead. And then it's like 6 times 60 though. It's not even like a full stamina refill. So that's not really a full argument. Let me see. stuff like skins is normally free. Not in a free game. In a paid game, for sure. But in a free game, I don't think so. You don't think that's the case? You don't unlock more stuff with Eidolons? You definitely do unlock more things. It's not about power. You can clear the whole game without pulls ever. It's about lock parts of their kits behind a paywall. I mean, in order for Eidolons to be cohesive, they need to make sense in their kit. But in order for the characters to fulfill their given fantasy... So when you design... This is same for games like Final Fantasy XIV, World of Warcraft, when they design classes. And it's the same for when you design characters in Smash, and it's the same for when you design characters in games like Hoyo, and even games like this. When you go to design a game or a character, you are trying to convey a fantasy of playing that character. And so the question you should be asking yourself is not, do they have a fully comprehensive kit? Because when you look at it in the context of Eidolons, the answer will always be no, of course. Because the Eidolons have to make sense within the scope of how their kit works, right? The question is, does this character properly convey the proper feeling of playing what they're intended to do? So in Kafka's case, she basically triggers dots, right? So is Kafka doing that fantasy of triggering dots faster without her Eidolons? And the answer is, of course, yes. She is doing that. Now, she could do it in various different ways and better if she had Eidolons, but fundamentally, the core concept, the core fantasy of her kit is intact, right? It's not missing with those Eidolons missing. Gotta make money somehow. You absolutely have to make money. The game just doesn't exist without money. And I'm not advocating for predatory practices. I'm advocating for fair monetization that people can plan around. And they can plan around with just the way the gacha system works. Star Rail's really generous, like the favorite youngest child, and Genshin's like the first child. Archeron without light cone, it will be garbage. I mean, the community always says stuff like this, though. They always say, like, X character is garbage, they need Y thing, and blah, 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 but it almost never, virtually never pans out. So I don't know. I've been following, like, Honkai Star Rail leaks since the beginning of that game when things started leaking. The doom in the gaming, doom in the leak community is ridiculous. Like, they said, like, Silver Wolf, I remember being there when they were saying Silver Wolf would be one of the worst characters ever released. That turned out really well. I'm baffled we came to a reality where people defend gambling. But that's the thing, though. I hate gambling. It's one of the reasons I didn't like playing Fire Emblem Heroes, and I spent too much money. But I don't think that Hoyo's gacha is gambling because of the way the pity system is set up. If you're properly planning and you're not spending, all of your currency right away on stuff, it's not gambling. You can absolutely save and get the characters that you want. One of the amazing reasons I like Granblue Fantasy right now is due to not being a gacha. I think it's fair. If you don't like gachas, that's fair. It's not much of an issue of Eidolons or Constellation for me. If I want to have fun with broken kits, I'll have to go to the simulated world. Genshin, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, for sure. If you want, like, busted kits, sure, you'll have to get the Eidolons, but, like, I'm not personally interested in playing with busted kits. I'm just wanting to play with different gameplay types. And by getting different characters, I get different ways of playing the game. I'm not interested in, like, trivializing the game. The game's already generally not that hard. They need to monetize somehow. It's such a bad take. You're acting like other game companies went bankrupt without gambling. It's not about... No, it's not about that. It's not about companies going bankrupt. It's in order to keep up with the pace of how much content they're releasing for the game, they need a strong monetization system. And some people are sucked into that monetization system in a bad way. I was literally one of those people, so I get it. But that's not to say that they have at least systems set up so you can only take that so far if you got sucked into that. Right? If I was playing, I would have spent less money in a Hoyo game than I spent on Fire Emblem Heroes because at least they had a pity system. And, it's not comparing one to the other of like the lesser of evils, but there's enough resources online and there's enough conversation about the game that if you're really serious about the game and you want to guarantee the characters without spending a dime, you could do that. You just got to save. You just got to save your currency. Don't spend it. It's only gambling if you're not planning and saving properly. And then that's just, I don't know what to say about that. About the gambling, be completely honest with you, as someone who grew up with a gambling father and lost all his lottery money, gambling gacha game is like a blessing in disguise for me. Why do you say that? If I can gamble without needing to spend money and just time, I'll settle with that. Well, okay, see, that's what I'm saying,
What's up,
right?
Ram?
Oh, hello, George.
Hello.
We're having a heated debate about the gacha in Hoyo games.
Oh, sounds
Yeah.
like I joined at the right time.
Yes, you did. George jump scare? Yeah.
Yeah, I just jumped in. I have a little bit of time before we're gonna record today. I don't know if I'm in stream or not.
Yes, you're in stream now. Yep.
Yeah, but had a little bit of time, and so I thought, you know what? Let me pop in. I thought you were playing Relink. Sounds like we're talking about. Are we playing Hoyoverse games
We're
right now? What are you
playing.
doing?
We're playing. We're playing versus Rising while talking about Hoyo games.
Nice. That's the streaming life. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So what's going on then?
So people are making reasonable arguments that they're not a big fan of just gotchas in general, which I think is reasonable. But the biggest point of contention is I think Hoyo versus gacha isn't that bad. And in fact, I think it's even more on the generous side, because if you're saving your currency, your free currency properly, and you don't want every single character that comes out, you can very reasonably and easily get most of, or at least like, let's say half of the characters that you really want, right? And you don't have to pay anything, right? This is free. You can get these like half of the characters that you really want, and you're playing the game for free. And if you want to get the other half of the characters you really want, you just buy the monthly pass, and that gives you enough to pretty much get everything you want. And that's been my personal experience. I've been lucky for sure. So maybe that's not everyone's experience, but I think because of how the pity system works, it's a pretty nice system to getting characters, a guaranteeing characters. You don't have to gamble if you're planning properly. So,
Yeah, and what if you want all characters? Why shouldn't you want them? Well, I guess I can just give on my hot take, I guess. In gacha stuff in general. I mean, I steer away from gachas generally. But I still take it, for me at least, it's like a case by case basis. Though one thing that gachas have going for me, and again, it's not all gachas, just some of them, and I can talk about Hoyo specifically here in a moment, is the fact that you could potentially, there is a game, varying degrees of quality, but the ones that I target, a good game that you could potentially play for free for, and I don't know, you might be hearing me twice. You should only hear me once now. But a game that you can play for free for the lifetime of the game. It gets constant regular updates, constant new characters, constant story, constant modes, all that stuff. And I know of no, in my ideal world, you would get that and they would sell it to you all as like a microtransaction. You don't necessarily have to like, pull on a gacha. You don't necessarily have to quote unquote gamble to get stuff from that game. But in a realistic world, or I guess not even realistic, but in a practical sense, just the world we live in, I know of no other model that allows for that. And so that's the big boon that gachas have, in my opinion. Now, on the other hand, there are a lot of predatory gachas, and so I can see the perspective as to why someone would scoff at a gacha outright. And in fact, I think most gachas deserve to be scoffed outright. When it comes to the Hoyoverse games, yeah, I think Hoyoverse does it as fair as you could possibly get, because there's a guarantee. You max, and I've yet to see it. Probably it has happened, but I've yet to see anyone have to go to full max, full pity before they can get the character that they want. But that ability to specifically snipe that character while potentially spending zero money is great. Now, there's the other hand too. Like, I'm almost playing my own devil's advocate here. FOMO, unfortunately,
right.
plagues a lot of gacha communities. And I think that's in part pushed on by the company themselves, but I think it's also pushed on by content creators themselves. When we've covered Zenless and Star Rail, we've always been very vocal about, like, all characters can do all content. Don't let FOMO seep in and all that stuff.
Right.
And so at a certain point, personal responsibility has to come in, and like you have to control yourself. The world can't be padded to everyone's individual needs, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately rather. But yeah, that's kind of my general takes there. Everything's a case by case basis. Hoyoverse seems to do it pretty well. And yeah, that's kind of it, I guess.
Yeah.
The floor is open for questions. Hold on, I've been seeing a bunch of chat coming
George,
in
what's your
already.
take on the gacha? Is it gambling or not?
Is a gacha gambling or not, or is Hoyo versus gacha gambling or not? Because I see the two as different. I see if there is a guarantee, it's almost as if you have to pay in to get something out, and you could potentially you could get lucky beforehand. Whereas gachas that don't have pity or have just a ridiculously unreasonable pity, that's like, it's practically gambling, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's why I don't view the Hoyo gacha as gambling outright, because if you're like hoping on chance and you don't save and plan properly, sure, that becomes gambling at that point. But if you're planning properly and saving, then it's not gambling because you can just guarantee the character you want outright. You can compare FGO, that rate is 1% and the rate up is 80, but the pity is higher. Yeah. The only monetization is gacha character skins and other stuff for free. Yep. FGO is pretty bad.
Have you ever played Warframe or Path of Exile? I have not. If those are games that are able to continually put content at the quality and rate of a gacha game, and they do it with a better monetization system, heck yeah, dude, that's just a better system then, and more power to them.
I think the grind that they put in Warframe is like absurd, from what I understand. So I don't know if that's necessarily.
I don't know much about those games.
So a couple of you asked, like, well, what if you want characters for a variety of reasons, or what if you want all the characters? I mean, you shouldn't expect to get all of the characters if you're not paying any money, right? There has to be a limit somewhere. They can't just like let everyone get all the characters for free. Like, they do have to make some money. And so then if you want all the characters, what I did was I started buying the monthly pass because I did want all the characters. So all the characters, and not everyone's going to get as lucky as I did, so you could get most. But I'm spending $5 a month on this game. It's freaking nothing. So, and I'm getting all the characters with some luck. You could get most of the characters with just the $5 a month. $5 for a game like this is nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah, and I agree basically with what you said. With the kind of, like I said, when I started the thing, I preface my views just based on a practical sense, right? Is that my preferred thing? Like, would I want to go through a gacha to get all the characters if I wanted all the characters? Thankfully, in a lot of the gachas that I've played, I just straight up haven't wanted all the characters. But is that my preferred method? No, but just based on like the world we live in, it's the model that seems to be working the best currently.
Especially if it's made fairly. Like Fire Emblem Heroes was not that was a predatory gacha. That was bad juju.
Yeah, and I also think that gachas should be, like, they're unfortunately tailored towards people who are heavily influenced by FOMO. And I think that's wrong. I think you need a certain level of self-control before you're willing to dabble in a gacha. Because once you spend that first dollar, it gets so much easier to continually spend more and more and more in that game. So you have to like put a stopgap for yourself, and you have to go in with a certain amount of self-control into every banner and just into every gacha as a whole. And there are certainly some gachas that I wouldn't recommend touching with a 20-foot pole. Like, it's just not worth it. For the quality of game that you get, quality of characters that you get, and just how much it would cost, or all that stuff. So, definitely a case-by-case basis.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely understand, like, Sin has some, like, really big reservations on that kind of stuff, and I totally understand it. As someone who's been
100%.
sucked into the gachas before, I think it's totally reasonable. I just don't necessarily agree with how far your opinion is on it. But I think it's a reasonable opinion to have, though. I don't think it's unreasonable.
Yeah, gachas are certainly not for everyone. They're certainly not. And, like, going off to what I was saying with some certain amount of self-control, a lot of the people that play gachas are not for them.
True.
Like, if you can afford it, you know, who am I to tell you what to spend with your money? But there's a lot of people that can't, and they spend money on a gacha anyways, and that's bad. In Warframe, you can get the new character day one without any money. You may never ever pay for anything. Their motto is ninjas play free. Yeah, I wish I knew more about the Warframe monetization model. I know of the game Warframe. I think I've seen like maybe a trailer or two on YouTube, but that's the extent of my Warframe knowledge. Man, I hopped in at a good time, dude.
You did. It was a great time. I hope at least,
man.
Sin, or those who disagree, that you can kind of see the reasonability in having that pity system in Hoyo games. You may not, like, fully agree, let's say, but it is kind of reasonable in a sense.
Yeah, really the only gachas I played were Fire Emblem Heroes, Dragalia Lost, Genshin, and Star Rail. And I've quit them all with the exception of Star Rail. Although Star Rail, ever since it doesn't fit on my phone, I've heavily weaned off my engagement with it, because most of the time that I played it was on my phone. And I liked it as like a little pocket game. I don't mean this to sound boastful, but it's just the truth. Like, I have decent self-control when it comes to spending money, so I wasn't like ever tempted with the stuff. I have Google Play rewards, which is like they send you a survey based on some of the stuff that you do on your phone and stuff you look up on Google, and usually that's my gacha spending money, because you're only allowed to play it in the Google Play Store. And so, yeah, I've been able to stay relatively paid free. I have spent some time or some money on the monthly little pass that gives you a little bit of. It's not the battle pass. I forget what it's called.
It's the monthly pass, yeah.
Yeah, the monthly pass, and it's like $5, and it gives you some currency, in-game currency and stuff. But yeah. There's certainly a gradient to how bad any gacha can go, but my stance is very simple. There should never be chance involved with money transactions. There could be gacha with in-game currency, but my transaction should get you the product. And no, pity doesn't count. I can see that point.
But why doesn't pity count, though? You can't just discount pity because you don't like the gacha system in general, right? That's not fair. Right, so let's say I'm at a guarantee, I lost the 50-50, I'm at a guarantee to get a character, and I'm at 79 pulls, so let's say, like, essentially, I'm going to get the character because my next pull. If I then buy currency, how is that gambling? Like, in that situation, it's no longer gambling, I'm buying the character outright.
I think you said not gambling, but there should not be chance. So
well, there's no chance. Let's pretend I'm at 89 then. So I'm literally guaranteed to get the character in the next pull, right? If we want to say that technically there's a chance. Well, I mean at 80 there's virtually no chance. But let's say
there was chance up leading to the 90, right?
Right, but let's say I used free currency. So my purchase no longer has any chance. right? Let's just say that I used free currency up to that point.
And well, I guess in this example, no, there would be no chance.
Right,
Right,
so then
'cause
why
it's
can't we apply that same logic before that time?
Because I think it obfuscates. I think that's how you say the word. What your
Obfuscates?
money is? Yeah, what your money is worth. So instead of you put in $1 and you get $1 worth of product, you could put in $1 and get $10 worth of product, or you could put in $1 and get $0 worth of product.
Right, but if I'm spending money, I spend money based on not a chance. Like I never would spend money in a Hoyo game if I didn't have a plan to get to pity, right? Like I don't buy the currency with the idea of like, oh, I hope I get the character. It's like if I'm buying currency, it's because I know that I can guarantee the character. It's never a gamble for me if I'm gonna buy the currency outright. So that's why I just don't necessarily agree with the statement that it's always gambling. It can be depending on your situation and if you're like not planning properly and you're just buying currency for a chance. But if you've properly planned out, you've used free currency to get to a point, and I know I only have to spend $30, which is absurd for one character to be fair. That's ridiculous. But it's like I can spend $30 to guarantee the character, then is that gambling? I don't think it is.
Yeah, and see, that's the correct way to approach a gacha, and I think that's the way, if anyone's gonna approach a gacha, they should. That's where the problem comes in of like some people, like I said earlier, that play gachas shouldn't necessarily be playing a gacha because they don't have that level of self-control. And yeah, it's really a hard like topic. Like
Well, there's a nuanced like distinction, I think, right? Like
there
I don't
is.
think
There certainly is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think this is like a gotcha bad, gotcha good situation. It's like there's a very fine, nuanced situation that I think people should hopefully be able to appreciate, where it's not the greatest thing ever, but it's certainly not as horrible as people are making it out to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's certainly nuanced, and it takes yeah. Like like I said again, it's not my favorite, but it's living in reality, and for what you can get when you play a gacha right, you can get a whole lot out of it. Way more than you could potentially get out of any other game in any other model. Maybe
Yeah.
Warframe's different. I don't know. But that's my main thing is I am how there's like leechers and seeders and torrents. I am 100% a leecher in a gacha. I take more than what I give.
Have you been buying when you played Honkai Star Rail? I don't know if you're still playing, but did you buy the weekly or the monthly passes?
I bought one, and
bought
then
one.
and then I didn't really like what it would give me, and so then I just stopped.
So, did you get a lot or most of the characters that you wanted, even though you weren't paying anything?
Yeah, I've gotten, because I approach it with the knowledge of like, okay, this character is going to cost me 180 pulls, and most of the time they don't, but I always assume it's going to be
Right.
180, and so
Right.
that's what I save for.
So, I mean, George is a great example of that. He's getting most of the characters that he wants. He doesn't spend anything, sounds like. And, I think that's a pretty freaking good system. I don't honestly know how anyone can complain about that.
Yeah, I get the point though, because like not everyone plays like I do, which is,
But I mean,
is
that's
good
not
for
a problem
the-
of the system per se, right? That's a problem of how people are approaching the system. You're
Yeah,
letting
that's
the
why I said,
system...
like,
Yeah.
that's why I said earlier, like the world can't be padded to everyone. As as good or as bad as that would be, there is a certain level of personal responsibility that players need to take, and we can't just like ban things because certain people lack self-control.
Right. My argument is about pity not being a price. We can't treat it as that. Right. Well, but the problem with your argument is, so you're saying like there is no set price for the pity. It could potentially cost you an insane amount of money, so therefore it's gambling. But if you want to use that logic, you then have to concede that the price for the pity is $0, because you can get all of those things in game. You can get to pity with free currency in game. So the price of the pity ranges from $0 to how much does it cost for a character outright for 180 pulls? Like, it's a lot. It's a frick ton of money.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's an insane amount of money. Like, it's way too much. But that same logic can be used to say that the game is... Skip mentioned assume what I could say. Sorry, let me see. Which message here? Pity sets this one here. Pity sets the top, but they never set. But they sell you the illusion of the product being priced lower.
I think a little bit higher.
Higher than that?
I say pity doesn't count because in this case, price is ambiguous. Yeah, that's kind of what I said too. It like hides the actual price. Pity sets top price, but they sell the illusion of the product being priced lower. Not to say that you can't. Not to say that you buy crystals in very inconvenient amounts. You can't spend exactly just to get the character. You're forced to waste money.
See, again, I don't agree with that because that's just not true. Right? Like, it's just straight up factually not true because you don't need specifically a 10 pulls worth to get the character on pity, right? Like, the amount of free currency you've had up to that point means you could need like 7 pulls left, or you could need like 64 pulls, right? It doesn't have to be this exact 10 amount, right? If you're looking at it from the perspective of, oh, they're selling you an inconvenience amount, there is no convenient amount. You could buy, it could be set up for like the convenient amount to give you a perfect 10 pull, but that still might not even be enough. You may need 5 more pulls, right? So unless we have a system...
I think what he's saying is like in your example of like you have 80 pulls and like let's say pity is 5 pulls and you're out. And you can't just buy 5 more pulls.
I see. I was about to say, like, you would have to have a system where you can buy the exact amount of pulls that you would want.
Yeah.
Then that would be, you know, that you would be able to do that kind of thing. Let's say all free currency and decide to buy a character. You're missing 7 pulls. How do you buy them? I see what you're saying. Yeah, right. Yeah. That's what I was expecting that you might say. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. In that situation, I can understand that.
Yeah, you have to buy like the whatever pulls, right? Like the 20 pull package or the 40 pull package or whatever. You can't just buy the 7 you need.
Any game does this with premium currency, even Warframe. Yeah, but that to what Sin is saying, just because another gacha does it or another game does it doesn't mean it's like a good practice. I mean, I agree with you. I think Sin, it would be better if you could buy the exact missing pulls. But then you have to come back to like, okay, is that reality though? Can they run the game off of that kind of concept? Would that pay the bills? Or do they need you to spend $10 in order to, you know, properly fund the game in a realistic scenario? Hoyo should make it so you're able to purchase a character of your choosing. Let's say they sell this to you twice a year. In Dragalia Lost, they had dream summons where you could pick the character that you wanted. And I bought those every single time. It was basically like, I don't even think it was the full cost of a 10 pull. It gave you a 10 pull plus a ticket where you get to pick a character.
Yeah. Yeah, like this isn't my preferred method. I wish there was like a way in which the company could make all the money that they need and or want, because let's be real, they're in here to make a profit. They're here to get rich. They're not here just to be like, all right, well, I'll pass by on a $60,000
get rich and fund
salary.
More content. To be fair,
yes, yeah, and fund more
spend
content.
An insane amount of money.
It's a loop, right? They want money, and it's just the reality of the situation.
Like,
if
imagine
a better system. Heck yeah, man, I'm all for that. I'd support that.
We love Smash Bros. Imagine if we could get a new Smash character every what is that? Every 3 weeks.
Every 6 weeks? Is it
no,
3 weeks?
It's 3 weeks.
Every patch is 6 weeks. Every 3 weeks, yeah.
Imagine getting a Smash character every 3 weeks. But the catch was there was a Hoyo gacha for it. I would freaking go for that in a heartbeat. I'd be like, hells yes. Yeah. Instead of 3 months, we're getting characters every 3 weeks. And the only thing I have to do is like plan properly to get the characters I want. because there's going to be a bunch of Smash characters I don't want and a bunch that I do. So as long as I'm saving properly, I basically have to spend no money. I'd probably spend less money getting Smash characters through a gacha system than I would buying the DLC. Or the same. And I'd get way more freaking characters.
And it depends on the gacha again, right? Like we're talking strictly Hoyo gacha here.
Right.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get a character every 3 weeks. Sorry, I mean 3 weeks. Like the game gets a character. I wouldn't get it. You're right. I would, but the game would get it. I would just skip the characters. Like it would still be. So instead of getting like 10 characters, we're getting like 30 characters, right? And I'm just going to be skipping, let's say, proportionally the same amount of characters I would skip in a Smash DLC, which I only buy like half of them. So, and then if we want to say like, there's 50% of the characters I want, 50% I wouldn't want. Yeah, I think easily you could get 50% of the characters in a Hoyo game, I would say.
Yeah, like what would you say, Graham, is the price of, what does it cost to develop a game like Star Rail?
What does it cost?
Like you look at like a AAA game, and I don't necessarily think a gacha like Star Rail is quite at the level of like freaking. What did it cost Sony to develop the new Spider-Man? That
100
was
million.
Like a leak. Yeah, it was like 100, like insane amount, and that was like over a however many year period, like a 2-3 year period, and then it's set and done. Maybe there's some DLC and stuff, but that's like it.
315 million.
Oh, for Spider-Man? 350? Yeah, how much do you think it would cost to develop Star Rail?
I would say 100 million.
Like the base game, and then to continually...
Well, just the base game and like getting some content like in the back ready to go, like right when it launches for like the next 3 to 6 months. Yeah, about 100 million, I would say.
Yeah. And then what do you say would be the cost per
year
pack?
After that?
Or per year? Sure, yeah, that's probably
I would say it's probably around the same, maybe not as much because it's staggered a bit, but it still would be like 50 to 100 million every year.
Yeah.
To deliver that amount of content. The amount of content the Hoyo games deliver is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, like I go back, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but like unless they have a gacha, I don't know how they make the amount of money that they would deem worthy to enter into this venture for, right? Like no one's in it for just 100,000. They're in it for millions, billions if they can get it. So it's just the way of the world.
Honkai Star Rail makes more money than a regular AAA release every couple months. Yeah, it's ridiculous. This is a reason for the gacha and not about making enough money. It's about making all the money. Yeah, I just don't look at it like... Sorry, George, your mic cut out.
Oh, sorry.
You're back.
Yeah, I just meant... Okay, yeah, I just said, like, that's what I said, right? They're not in it for 100,000 or 1 million. They want millions and billions if they can get it. That's right, the motivation. Like,
you also need that. You need gacha level money to deliver content this consistently and at this quality. Right? It's the only way. And you would think that, okay, well, if they're making this amount of money, clearly every player is going to be exploited. I barely spend any money at all in this game. Barely any money at all. Cost me almost nothing to play this game. In fact, it cost me less money to play this game than a lot of other games that I play, and I'm getting content continually at this rate.
Yeah. Yeah, the whales fund it for us.
Right, like people who have, poor planning and spending habits and who have a weakness to that, which was me once upon a time.
Or can't afford it. Right?
Or can't afford it. Or people who, can or can't afford it. Yeah, those are the people funding the game. And for those people in those situations, it sucks. It sucked that I spent way too much money on Fire Emblem Heroes. But that was my fault. It was partially my fault and partially their fault. How do you spend nothing to buy a monthly pass? I didn't say I didn't spend anything, but I said almost nothing, like virtually nothing. I spend less money on certain games. I spend less money on Hoyo games than I do on certain other games.
Yeah.
In my dream world, every government follows the example of European countries and bans loot boxes and every other chance-based purchases. I mean, but then Honkai Star Rail and Genshin and like all these other gachas just don't exist.
How do you
But
feel about gambling as a whole, Sin? Do you think gambling should be banned? Like casinos and stuff? And you might be surprised as to my views of casinos. It does not line up with my views of certain gachas at all.
I disagree. You have spent more than $60 in Star Rail so far. That's not nothing. I mean, it's not nothing, but have I played any other game this year more consistently and throughout like the whole year than Star Rail?
How much do you spend on Final Fantasy 14, you say?
15 a month.
Yeah.
Frickin' Final Fantasy is ridiculous.
How do you think based on my stance? So you're pro banning casinos. Yeah, I think casinos are frickin' that's predatory.
That's definitely predatory. We can all agree on
and
that.
In my dream scenario, I think they should be banned as well, casinos. However, I do also, it's like I have a bit of an internal conflict, because if someone wants to waste their money, like, who am I to tell them how to do that, right? Like, I do have a very real conflict when it comes to that, because I think from a moral perspective, casinos are wrong. But at the same time, like, you know, if you're an adult and you want to waste your money, waste it away, like, do I really have the right to tell you to do that? I don't know. It's not as simple.
Well, how about this? Wouldn't it... Agreed, casinos are disgusting, Soldier, 100%. Would a happy medium be that we properly educate, and companies, just like how smoking companies have to properly educate people about what the damage that their product is going to do? What if these casinos had to properly... And maybe they do, I don't know. Maybe they have to properly educate people as to what's really going on and the fact that they're wasting their money away. And then maybe gacha games also have to be like, hey, if you properly save, you can get the characters that you want. And they have to inform you about, like, smart decisions when interacting with their gacha. And then people can choose to follow that or not. Like, post chances of winning. Like, more than just chances of winning, but, like, explain to people what their strategy is, right? One great way of breaking the spell of FOMO is explaining that FOMO is happening and how it's happening. It was a way for me to kind of break and realize, oh, FOMO, okay. Like, when I played Fire Emblem Heroes, it was my first gacha. I wasn't aware of, like, things like FOMO. But once I knew, I started to be able to build up a mentality of what's going on and then build defenses against it. Have that helped promote smoking amongst teens? No, but at a certain point, you know, how much liberty are we willing to give people to make their own stupid decisions?
Yeah, the smoking one's hard, because I don't smoke, and I think it's terrible for your health. Same with, like, vaping too. Like, people used to say that vaping was an okay alternative. It's also terrible for you. But I think people should be able to do, to a certain degree, right? Like, I used to be very much more of the pamp, like, as long as it's not hurting anybody, you know, you can do whatever you want. And as I've gotten older and wiser, I've realized, oh, well, some of those things that I was like, as long as it's not hurting anybody, it's actually hurting people outside of just the individual person. But,
right.
You know, there is still that part in me of, as long as it's not hurting anybody, you know, you should kind of have the right to do what you want, because it's much easier to be heavy-handed with taking away liberties than it is to be with giving them, if that makes sense. It's much easier to take control than to release control. I guess it's, at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah, I think Final Fantasy and WoW subscriptions are expensive. Yeah, I spend more money playing Final Fantasy than I do playing Honkai Star Rail. That's just a straight up fact. And Final Fantasy delivers less content. Way less content.
Yeah.
Right?
I haven't played Final Fantasy or WoW, but the price to entry was for when I had more time. Now it's the time to entry. Before it was the price to entry, because Graham's been trying to get me to play Final Fantasy for a long time.
Yeah,
the
right.
price to entry was a big barrier for me.
Yeah.
But now, price is not an issue, and time is a big issue.
Yeah,
so
right.
Tables have flipped.
Tails are turned. Problem is, people aren't logical. Covey taught us that. Yeah, for sure. 100%.
I'm a developer, not a game dev. Accounting on people's stupidity and preventing them from hurting themselves is in my nature. And I think that is very noble, Sin.
Yeah, agreed.
That is a very noble pursuit. But then at the same time, you know, you gotta at a certain point, you gotta release the reins. You gotta let people, stupid or no, make that decision themselves.
Yeah, at some point.
Hopefully people learn, but you know, sometimes they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from, Sin. I can appreciate your perspective. Even if we don't necessarily agree, I appreciate where you're coming from. And certainly we both agree on the, you know, the nature of preventing people from hurting themselves. Like you, me, and George, we all care about protecting people as much as possible. We just have a different agreement on like what exactly we should do when it comes to that kind of thing.
And I think we're also in agreement that there's certainly a spectrum as to when a gacha becomes just predatory.
Right.
Because it's not like, don't take any of these comments as like a wholesale endorsement of just gachas as a whole.
Right.
Because it's certainly not. And there does come a point when which a practice, and not necessarily even just a gacha, but just like a practice as a whole that a game company does, that's just predatory and wrong.
Yep.
And so,
100%.
Gotta take it case by case basis.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say outright that all gachas are bad, just on virtue of them being gachas.
Or that they're good. On virtue of them.
Or that they're good. Well, certainly, I don't think anyone's gonna make that argument.
But I want to be saved. I want to enjoy games that are not plagued with predatory practices. Just look how cool Relink is with being able to play every character and farm all you want.
For sure, but look how little content Relink is getting. I agree with you 100%, Sin. If we could have our cake and eat it too, let's freaking go. But if I could trade a gacha system going into Relink in order to get the amount of content that Honkai Star Rail is, I'm going to do that 10 times out of 10. Because Relink is not getting freaking nothing. It sucks. It's very... we're getting the absolute minimum content possible.
And if it starts getting more content, that's even better for Relink, and all the more reason for people to keep supporting it.
Right. I mean, we're running into a problem where it's half of the player base that it was, specifically because there's just not enough content to do.
Yeah.
And that's granted that it's, I said like I'll change in the gacha 10 times out of 10, but that's if the gacha is like a Hoyo gacha, and I feel like it's a reasonable. I think it's reasonable. Now imagine a Terminus weapon banner. Stop, please. That sounds awful. See, I don't like the weapons banner at all. Like, I understand why it exists. Thank goodness it exists in the way that it does so I can ignore it. But I don't think they would go that far. But you never know. I don't know.
Monster
Yeah,
Hunter exists for how long? It's the first try on Cygames and half. They'll figure it out. I hope they figure it out. I want more Relink stuff for sure. Like, I want this to continue in some form or another, even if it's, you know, another game 4 years down the road. 3 years down the road, however long it would be. But yeah. No game
Correct.
can
Nice
deliver enough
work.
content. I think it's impossible. A player base can fly through content in 8 hours. It took 8 years to make. Yeah, that's the other problem. That's why,
Yeah,
you know,
true.
games like gacha games exist the way that they do, because, you know, you need to keep the wheel of content churning.
The wheel of fate is turning. Yeah, I mean, even with the amount of content that Genshin puts out and Star Rail, it's never enough. It'll never be enough. Until AI is making like fully competent video games, we're never gonna have games that have enough content.
Man, imagine the future where AI can make competent video games.
Sounds cool.
Oh boy, that aspect sounds cool, but I'm just imagining all the other AI stuff that has to come along with that. No. It's gonna be a crazy world. I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad. It'll be insane.
Scorps, I legitimately forgot how to do SBA. There it is. Okay. I was trying to figure out how to do SBA this whole time.
I feel also I would take low amount of good content any day instead of another dialogue dump. 586, especially with Paimon narrating.
Oh,
Yeah,
bro.
I quit Genshin a long time ago. Genshin.
We can all wholeheartedly agree on the fact that Hoyo overwrites the hell out of their games. If there's one thing we can all agree on, it's definitely that. Oh my gosh, they're so overwritten, it's insane.
Yeah, and I can honestly say I can say, I don't know how truthful it is, that I spent less than $60 on Genshin, but I know for a fact it was less than 80. So between the 80 to, you know, probably like 60 or something. And I played that for like a whole year and a half every day. And I was enjoying it. When I was no longer having fun, then I quit. Well, I enjoyed it, I'd say probably for like 90% of the time, and then it quickly started to dip, and then I just quit out altogether. But still, like, I played a whole frickin'... I played, you know, I got so much out of that game for, you know, the price that it would be for any other full-time game that I would have played in that time.
Motherfricker.
Is it Scorps that you're fighting?
I'm fighting Scorps, yeah.
Nice. I feel like there are plenty of games with enough content, unless enough content equals 2,000 plus hours worth of gameplay. Yeah, see, that's another change of opinion that I've had, especially now as like my time's become short and everything. Every single time I see a game trailer or a game presentation about like, oh, and like this game's gonna take you 100 hours to beat, like the eyes start rolling in the back of my head, because I'm like, why?
Agree.
Who really wants this? I do not want this. Now, if it's 100 hours of fantastic content like Elden Ring, heck yeah, like bring it on. But most of that time is just bloat in most games, unfortunately. I literally told myself, until Genshin puts dialogue skip, I'm not going to play it that much. I would spend 4 hours just for one story and, what, 50 Primo gems? Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. The game's so overridden. It honestly makes playing Star Rail so unfun. Woo! Woo! Back the frick up, boyo. No! Frick! Oh! Scorps! That was nice. GG.
Grab.
All right. I'm alt-F4ing the game.
Yeah,
Oh.
but I mean, I can definitely see your point of view, Sin. Like, I don't hold anything against you for thinking that way. It's yeah, I can certainly see it.
Nice fight, Scorps.
Not being able to skip is why I quit Star Rail. Yeah,
I-
I won't
it's
say
reasonable.
I fully quit Star Rail yet, but not being able to play it on my phone has been a huge detriment. So I'm not really always on my PC in a position to be able to kind of play.
Speaking of battle passes, I buy the battle pass for this game just because I want this game to like keep going. Also, I mean, this art and this outfit for frickin' Zeta, I mean, what can I say?
Yeah.
All right, well, we scared away half of the people that were watching when we started bickering about gacha systems. 50% of them were probably upset that we had the opinions that we did. And the other 50% were probably like, holy frick, this is an obnoxious argument. I'm going to leave. But, I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. I think we have some understanding, at least. Like, I definitely appreciate your stance on it, Sin, and anyone else who shares something similar. I don't hold anything against you either. Thanks for the convo. Yeah, I think that's one of the things. We've had conversations like this on the Game Club, either on the Discord or on stream. A lot of it's been on the Discord and the voice chat. But that's the great part about the Game Club is we're willing to be steadfast in our opinions, but open-minded to other perspectives. And we're happy to discuss other people's takes on things and be open-minded. So it's great. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Graham and I don't shy away from civil disagreement.
Yes.
And it doesn't really come forth that much, like in videos and in streams, but him and I don't agree on everything. Like it just so happens like the stuff that we choose to cover, we're both enjoying, and so we end up just naturally agreeing on it
Right.
anyways. But like, you know, in our relationship, like we're great friends, but we'll get at it.
We've had
sometimes,
moments where
you know?
we've really went at it with certain things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
So,
you know, it's just the way of life. Being able to like disagree and still like, you know, be friends and just realize that people are different. They see the world differently than you do. Like, heck yeah, man, that's life. That's the
yeah,
way things are.
another thing is like our content. I don't know if this is the perception. Maybe you guys can give feedback on this, but I think some people have the perception that we are a very sterile type of channel where we're not going to talk about controversial things. And that is true to a degree, especially because we're focused on games. But if there's like a controversial game opinion that's like an L take, as you said, Sin, how dare you? Then
That's amazing. Oh,
yeah, he said I
I
had
wish
an
I
L take.
joined chat when that was happening. That's hilarious.
When I first gave my opinion on it, he's like, "That's an L take, bro," and I was like, "No."
Oh man,
It
that's
was
so
great.
funny.
It was great.
Uh,
What was the L take? I didn't think Hoyo's gacha was that bad. I thought it was actually pretty good. That was the L take, which I think in like
okay.
just without context, I think it's reasonable to think that that's an L take.
Yeah,
But I mean, like we're not afraid to really throw hands in the metaphorical sense and the argumentative sense when it comes to virtually any topic. But for the game club specifically, we like to keep it to games. But there's lots of. I mean, I'm not going to mention any of what the specific topics are, but I'm willing to throw down with any controversial topic whatsoever. And I got arguments for lots of stuff. I'm a big old opinionated a-hole, but I mean, I had a friend in college who was an a-hole, and I was like, dude, why are you like this? He's like, oh, I'm an a-hole. That's just how it is. Like, that's how I roll. And I was like, yeah, but like you could disagree with me without being an a-hole. And from then on, I learned, you know what? I have a lot of opinions, and I disagree with random things here or there, but you can do it diplomatically. You don't have to be a dick. You don't have to be a frickin' a-hole, but you can still disagree and have controversial positions. So that's the balance that I try and ride most of the time.
yeah. I'm basically the same way. I don't really shy away from anything. I only have like a certain rule for myself, and that's for the community Discord, which is that if it's like a truly controversial argument, I will only do it if I can do it via voice chat. If it's via
Yes.
text, like you could say almost anything to me, and it won't upset me. Like it'll just be like whatever. I'm like really chill like that. I don't know what it is, but like you know, the other person on the other side could be like screaming and everything. And like I'll get loud, but it's never because like I'm angry. It's just because like I'm excited, right? Like it
Right.
like gets you going. But you can't ever hear like inflection or like when someone's being sarcastic or jokey and everything in text. And so I hate doing it in text.
Right. Yeah,
And
I think
I saw the chat, Sin. Also, Toto from JAK really said it right. Taste in women says a lot, and I can say that the G stands for George. That's right. Taste in women says a lot.
no, it doesn't. It says nothing. Actually, it says how much of a degenerate you are, George.
Listen, man, I like real women. Okay.
Nothing wrong with 2D women. Um, yeah, I think which is a great dynamic because I'm not the same way. I would say I'm like 80 to 90% of the way there. Like it's very difficult to really get under my skin. The stupidest stuff is what gets under my skin, right? Like a character using a meme weapon in a game would get more under my skin or than like someone trying to make me upset, right? It's just like stupid stuff gets me upset. But sometimes when we've had instances where George and I are going off on a topic and I'm like getting like not heated, but I get loud. Like my voice gets like I have very bad volume control. And so I'll be like basically shouting at George, George, how could you not see this? Like, don't you see it? George is like, I don't know, man. I don't really get it. Like, I don't, blah, blah, blah. It's very funny. I've noticed that, which is great. So it's good for our dynamic.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's fun. It's fun. There is a certain enjoyment in arguing when both parties come at it in good faith.
Yes.
Although I do like poking Graham's buttons sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Poking buttons is is uh is is fun in its
Uh,
own right, and
yeah.
it's something that should be done sparingly because then it just becomes obnoxious.
Yeah.
But a little bit of self enjoyment, and I realized how bad that sounds now that I said it. But a little bit of fun is
George, you're hitting the G spot in G-verse.
oh my gosh, dude, you just had to take it even like 10 times worse.
That's the good spot.
Oh man.
The G in G-verse. I saw Scorp's comment here trying to rib me here with the G in G-verse stands for George verse.
George
Ha ha
verse.
ha ha. Um, got it, Graham. I'm gonna play with id of the giant shrimp weapon. Yeah, I just think it's so. I just think it's dumb, but it,
Yeah, like that was a thing. We actually, when we were doing the last stream, the character creator thing, like see, like a stupid character annoys Graham, but a
yeah,
stupid character, I just think that's freaking hilarious.
yeah. I think it's freaking dumb and annoying.
I
I
think
just
it's so funny.
stupid.
Oh man, and
I'll
part
never
of me
under.
wants to do that. Part of me wants to do that, but then I don't want to stare at that stupid character the entire time that I'm playing. Like I actually want to see like a decent character, right? But just like the thought itself is hilarious to me. I am in my heart 11 years old or 13 actually, 13
We
years
all
old.
got a little bit of troll. Listen, we all like a little bit of trolling. Let's be fair. I mean, I
Like
make
you're gonna
comments
say
like,
something else. I'm glad that's I'm glad that's what you said. I'll text you what I thought you were gonna say later.
yeah,
I'll
please do.
message
I don't even know what you were gonna say there, but yeah, I mean, we all like a little bit of trolling. We all like a little bit of even I trolled George with the I mean, I just made a comment that was freaking trolling George. And I make comments about like all their random degenerate stuff. See, George might be able to get me with his stupid comments, but I got my own stupid comments that I can rib at him. So
Yeah. There you go.
now I
Give
want a
and take.
clown skin for Keg.
So I can wear in front of Graham.
Do not bring this evil into my house, okay? If they made a clown skin for Keg, I would uninstall the game.
Oh my gosh, no, you wouldn't.
I would get a mod. I would finally get a mod, and I would mod it so that that skin just doesn't exist when people wear it. It's just like the normal outfit.
What do you think of the feet hands mod?
Oh my freaking gosh, it's so awful, dude. It's so cursed. Oh man, that was
Oh,
so freaking
it's
funny.
cursed and messed up and hilarious all in one.
It's certainly freaking something. It's freaking weird, man. All right, well, we have to go and watch some anime.
Watch some anime. Very good.
We're gonna record for the anime club coming up here. and get that video all edited for tomorrow, or I guess in 2 days. Graham,
Oh,
you
George, you
missed.
missed Graham's study Tuon's feet? Did you really do that?
No,
Oh my
it
gosh.
didn't happen. It's
There's someone clip it, please. I need to see this degeneracy firsthand.
it's not
And
real.
give Graham a stern talking to.
It's not real. It didn't happen.
Oh
Sin's
my gosh.
lying. Sin, you're banned. It
It
was
was
the
the stream
stream
moment
of
of all
all
time.
time.
Oh
It
man.
wasn't me, guys. Don't judge me, okay? Listen, we have to go. That's it. That's all I have to say.
All
All
right.
right. Well, it's been a pleasure, everyone. Sorry to anyone who got pushed out of the stream because we were talking about nonsense almost cyclically. I think it was a good conversation nonetheless, though.
I
But
think it was good.
yeah, for those who stayed and enjoyed, we appreciated hearing different comments and different opinions on it. And hopefully we can understand each other a little bit more, even if we don't agree. So
Exactly.
that's all.
All right.
Thanks for
See you
joining,
guys.
everybody. We'll see ya.
Take care.